A very good morning to all. I hope you all are doing well. Happy New Year to all. Today we'll be starting a new chapter, that is chapter number 9. In offline classes, I have already finished my syllabus, but in online classes, we are lacking behind with one chapter. Anyways, we can finish on time. I hope you are revising all the chapters. If you have any doubt in any other chapter, you can ask. Let's start the class. Now, the ninth chapter is about central bank. I hope you all know what central bank is. Central bank is the main regulatory body. Okay, before I start, just let you know what you have to prepare from this chapter. You just need to do meaning, functions, as well as monetary policy. These 3 points you have to do in this chapter. So, meaning of central bank. What central bank is? Central bank is the supreme monetary bank. Means the supreme bank or the regulatory body. Means they are the one who are controlling all other banks. So central bank is a main or supreme bank which controls all other bank of our country. So all the commercial bank, in the last chapter we have discussed about commercial banks. So all the commercial banks comes under the control of this central bank, and the central bank is only one, that is RBI. Reserve Bank of India is the central bank of our country. Reserve Bank of India is the central bank of our country, and central bank is only one, that is the regulatory body, and RBI is the regulatory body of our country. Central bank is the supreme monetary, means the highest bank of the country. It is the leader of money market. They are the one who issue currency, or they are the leader of the money market, and regulates and supervise all the activities of the commercial bank. So this is what the meaning of central bank. Let's see the functions of central bank now. Now central bank main function is issue notes. Now which banks issue currency, issue notes? Central bank, the RBI issue notes and currency, and it is the, that's why this bank is also known as bank of issue, because this bank issue notes currency. That is why this bank is also known as currency or bank of issue. The main reasons why this what are the reasons for giving the monopoly right of note issue? Why only central bank has this authority to issue note? Because there should be note circulation, should be uniformity. It doesn't, if many other banks are making start printing notes, or making notes or issuing notes, what will happen? There will be chances of more money supply in the market. Easy to control money supply. If they want to, if there are more than one bank, then there is very hard to control the money supply of the market. To control the money supply of the market, that is why only the authority of issuing note is given to only one bank. Faith, we have faith on only one bank, that is RBI is issuing the currency, so we don't need to worry about the currency. It helps in establishing the internal external value. As we know, internal and external, the value of money with the dollars and pounds is also stabilized by the RBI. Now another function of RBI, so in simple words I'll tell you, first function of RBI is to issue currency, is to issue notes. Now another is they are the banker, agent and advisor to the government. Banker means they are the banker to the government, means they provide all the loans and all money. If any government is required in any department, RBI will help them. Agent, on behalf of the government, they are the one who take care of the taxes and all from the public. Advisor, if government need any advice, financing advice, who give this advice to them? RBI give advice to them. So as a banker, they are the banker. As banker to the government, it manages banking accounts. It performs all the banking functions of the government. It also gives short period loans to the government. So you can see, as a banker, they perform all the functions of banking functions to the government. As a fiscal agent, it manages public borrowing. It collects taxes from behalf of the government. Also, we all know World Bank is there. Who represent India in World Bank? RBI represent India in World Bank or IMF, Indian Monetary Fund. As advisor, if government need any financing advices, who give advice to them? RBI give advice to them. So this is another function of RBI. Then next is banker to the banks, means all the banks banker is RBI. All the commercial bank are SBI, PNB, BOE, all the banks banker is RBI. They are the custodian of the cash reserve. Now what custodian is? Custodian of the cash, before custodian means caretaker. Now before you know what, you should know what cash reserve is. Cash reserve is some amount of cash which all the banks, all the commercial bank has to keep with RBI. This is called, that is called cash reserve. So cash reserve is that amount of cash which all the banks, whether SBI, whether PNB, they have to keep with RBI. Like for example, if you have some money, your parents have given you some money, you give some money to your elder brother or elder sister to keep money with you, so that is called cash reserve. I'm just taking the example. So cash reserve, they are the one who is taking care of all the, they are the one who are taking the custody of all cash reserve of the commercial bank. Then lender of the last resort, sometimes in the board they used to ask comment on this kind of statement, so you should know the meaning as well. Lender of the last resort means, if they, lender means they are the one, the last door for banks to knock the door, means the last thing from where a bank can get the loan. If bank is not getting loan, if banks are not getting loan from any other banks, they can come to RBI. For example, SBI want to take some money, they have knocked the door of PNB, they have knocked the door of BI, but nobody has given them loan, so they can come to RBI. RBI is the last resort, surely they'll help them, they'll give the loan. So lender of the last resort means from when they are not getting loan from anywhere, they'll get a loan from RBI. Clearing agent, as I told you, every bank has to keep some amount of cash reserve to RBI. So sometimes banks take loan from each other. For example, PNB take loan from SBI, SBI take loan from PNB. So in this kind of situation, if they are not able to pay money on time, if SBI is not able to pay money PNB on time, then what will happen? At that time, there will be chance of dispute between both the banks. So in this time, RBI will do what? From their cash reserves, RBI will clear their account. For example, I'll just take the example, if SBI has taken 10 crore from PNB as a loan and they are not paying that money, what RBI will do? From the cash reserve of SBI, they'll take the loan and give it to RBI. So RBI is a clearing agent, means if they have any, they have taken loan from, if any bank has taken loan from any bank and they are not clearing their dues, then RBI can solve their disputes. As a supervisor, this is the function which we have already discussed. RBI is the supervisor of all other banks, means they are the one who take care of all the banks. They are under the control of commercial banks. All the commercial banks come under the control of RBI. Custodian of foreign exchange, if you get dollars or pounds in the country where you'll exchange, RBI will take the custody of all other foreign exchanges, all the foreign reserves. This is the custodian of foreign exchange, means they are the one who are taking care custody of foreign exchange. That's the function. Now another function is monetary policy of the central bank. Monetary policy of the central bank. Now another function, another point which is in the syllabus is monetary policy. Now what monetary policy is? Monetary policy is how RBI control money supply of the market. How RBI control money supply of the market. RBI control monetary policy is the measures or the steps central bank take to control the credit in the economy or control the money supply. So there are basically two methods through which they control: quantitative methods and qualitative methods. Quantitative methods are basically the methods which are in numerical terms, like the methods used by the central bank to influence the total volume credit in the banking system are called quantitative method, means through bank rates and all they control the money supply. So these are the quantitative methods. In easy terms, I'll explain quantity terms which is in like numerical terms. Okay, now what are the steps? First, through bank rates. Now bank rates are basically, so quantitative methods are first method of quantitative, first method in this is bank rate. Now how through bank rate RBI control the credit? By increasing the bank rate and by decreasing the bank rate. I'll take this simple example to explain this point. If you want to take a loan from bank, if the bank is taking more interest, you will not take loan, right? You will not take loan. But when bank reduce the bank rate, the interest rate, obviously you'll take the loan. So this is what how RBI controls the credit. When they want to increase the money supply in the market, they will decrease the bank rate, and when they want to reduce the money supply in the market, to reduce the credit, they will increase the bank rate. So that's how bank rate work in controlling the money supply. Next, open market operations. Open market operations refers to buying and selling of government securities. Now, what are government securities? Some government issues some bills. If you have ever heard about this, treasury bills. So, in open market operations refers when government, through buying and selling of securities, through their securities like treasury bills, NSCs and all, national savings certificates and all, through these things government control the money supply. When they want that there should be more money supply in the market, what they'll do, they will sell their securities. And if they want there should be less money supply in the market, they want the people to purchase their securities. How? I'll just take the example. Now, if they want that there should be less cash in the market, they will tell people to buy their securities. How? If you are having 50,000 rupees and you have purchased this government security, you will have no cash, so the money supply will be controlled. And when they want there should be more money supply, they will tell you to sell your securities, sell the government securities. How? Or I'll explain like this. In your book, same thing I'm explaining, but they are telling in this way. Sale of securities. Now, if government want that there should be less of money with the people, they will sell the securities. When government sell the security, you will buy the security and there will be no cash with you. And when government wants that there should be less money with the people, what they'll do, they want to buy that there should be more money with the people. What they'll do, they will purchase the securities. That okay, we are purchasing your security, then they will give cash to you. For example, if they want that there should be more money with the people, right, more cash to the people, then so if government wants to increase the cash with the people, they will purchase the security. And they want to, if they purchase the security of the people and they want to reduce the cash with the people, they will sell the securities. If they'll sell the securities, people will buy, there will be no cash with the people. And if they'll purchase the security, they will give cash to the people, so there will be more cash in the money, more money supply will be there in the market. Then the next thing is through legal reserve requirement, cash reserve ratio. As I told you, what is cash reserve ratio? Government keeps some amount of cash with the commercial banks need to keep some amount of cash with RBI. That is called cash reserve ratio. Now, when RBI wants to give more credit, RBI wants there should be more money supply in the market, they will reduce the credit ratio, reserve ratio. And if they want that money supply should be reduced from the market, the money supply should be controlled, they will increase the cash reserve ratio. For example, maybe if RBI wants that there should be more money with the people, they will tell the banks to keep only 20% of cash with them and rest they can distribute. But if they want to control the money supply, they will tell that you have to keep, banks should keep 40% cash with RBI and only 60% they can distribute. So that's how they can control money supply. Now, statutory liquidity ratio. Now, don't get confused with statutory and cash. Statutory liquidity ratio is that amount of cash which banks should keep with themselves. For example, SBI or PNB should keep this amount of cash with themselves. They cannot distribute that cash. For example, 20% cash they have to keep within the bank. In cash reserve, they have to keep that amount of cash with RBI. But in statutory liquidity, they have to keep that cash with themselves. So that is statutory liquidity. If they want to increase the money supply, they will decrease the statutory liquidity ratio. If they want to decrease the money supply, If they want to decrease the money supply, they will increase the statutory liquidity ratio. Very easy point. If you just go through it, you can easily understand. I can't, in online class I can't go line by line because it will be very difficult, it will be very boring for you to understand. I'm trying my best. Still, if you have any doubt, you can ask. Now, qualitative method. Next methods of controlling, of maintaining money supply is qualitative methods. Under that comes, now qualitative methods are basically rules and regulations through which RBI, through legal rules and regulations, RBI controls the credit and money supply. First is regulating of consumers' credit. By regulating consumer credit means by they can give if you have heard about any down payment, if they want that there should be more money supply in the market, they will reduce the down payment of loan. And if they want to increase the money supply, they will reduce the down payment. If they want to control, they will increase the down payment. For example, if you want to purchase a bike on EMI, what they'll say, you have to pay at least 50,000 as a down payment. If they want that you should purchase the bike. But if they don't want that they don't want to sell the bike, what they'll say, you have to keep 75,000 as a down payment. If the bike cost 1 lakh and they're telling you to pay 75,000 as a down payment, who will buy? Nobody can buy. So that's the thing, down payment regulation of consumer credit is, that's how they can control, that's how banks control the credit, by increasing the down payment, by decreasing the down payment. The central bank reduces the amount of down payment and raises the maximum repayment period during the period of deflation. See, you can see regulating margin requirement. Now, margin requirement, another method, qualitative method, is margin requirement. Now, what margin requirement is? Margin requirement is basically some amount of margin banks keep with them, RBI keeps with them. For example, if you want to take a loan of 5 lakh, right, obviously you have to keep some amount as a security. जब आप लोन लेने जाते हैं तो आपको कुछ ना कुछ अपनी एज अ सिक्योरिटी रखनी पड़ती है. Now, if you want, what bank, if they want that more people should take loan, there should be more, they will increase the margin money. Now, what margin money is, when you want to take loan from bank, you have to keep at least, if you want to take 5 lakh as a loan, you have to keep a thing as a security which is worth of 7 lakh. अगर मुझे 5 लाख का लोन चाहिए तो मुझे कोई चीज़ ऐसी सिक्योरिटी के लिए रखनी पड़ेगी जो कम से कम 7 लाख की हो. Then that 2 lakh, 5 lakh loan you want and you're keeping security as 7 lakh, that 2 lakh is a margin money. Okay, so margin money keeps on changing. If banks want, RBI wants more money supply, they will reduce the margin money. RBI wants to increase the money supply, they will reduce the margin money. That's how it works. Then credit rationing. Credit rationing is they put a cap on banks, that maximum loan they can give. Commercial bank, they put a cap, maximum limit on commercial bank. For example, RBI says that SBI can give only loan to up to 1000 crore, not more than that. So that is called credit rationing, putting cap on the banks. Moral suasion is, sometimes RBI increase the legal formalities for taking the loan. If they want more money supply should be there, they will reduce the legal formalities, and if they want there should be less money supply in the market, they will increase the legal formalities to take loan. So that's how they work. You can go through the chapter. Distinction is not in the syllabus, so we are not going to do that. You can go through the chapter. If you have any doubt, you can ask. I know this chapter is quite confusing, but you can ask. Now, only one thing is left for the next class. I'll try to make the video for the next economic class is on Monday. Though we are not having period, but I'll make the video on Monday. So on Monday we'll be discussing only one thing is there in this chapter, that is meaning of inflation and this point, effects of inflation. In the next class I'll be discussing that. Till then, study hard. As you know, your pre-board are coming and the pre-board will be offline. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Thank you.